Colorado is in the news again. I don't know if you noticed.
This is gonna be awesome. I can't fucking.
Y'all in the news again, Matt. What the hell is going on now, Matt?
In the news again. They haven't stopped being in the news.
Every day is something, Matt.
Fucking news.
Shilo Sanders is in the news for filing bankruptcy, per Denver West Word. He's facing 11.8. I know. He's not facing a lawsuit, by the way. I want to be clear here. After yesterday's show, Smitty and I had, and I got a bunch of feedback and take and hot and hey, I'm a hater, blah, blah, blah. He actually lost the lawsuit. He already lost the lawsuit. He has lost the lawsuit to the security guard. That is fact. So a judge obviously thought he did something wrong to be sued and then owe the lawsuit money. So that's out there. There's no debate about it. He lost the actual court case.
Wow.
So now I'm looked into his financials. Not that I looked into his financials, but his financials are public record. He has assets of over $700,000. He has 2 cars that are $500,000, and he over the last 4 years he's made $290,000, $323,000, $119,000 just on filed taxes. So he's made decent amount of money for a 20-whatever-year-old kid. So now, no shit. So now he owes a lawsuit for $11.89 million, and then he files bankruptcy. Where are you at with your take just on hearing that part of it and knowing what's going on legality-wise and understanding that, because it's a deep conversation, obviously. Smitty and I had a little bit of it yesterday, but we wanted to wait till you got on. What is your take just by hearing that he filed bankruptcy out the gate, so he doesn't – basically you don't have to pay that money back is why you do file bankruptcy. So I'm trying to figure out your take on this.
All right. Number one, I'm no lawyer. Let's keep this in mind. Okay?
Michelle is.
Yeah. Number two, I'm not an economist or any of that shit either, so I don't know all the bankruptcy rules. I do know that if you claim bankruptcy, you're fucked for about 7 years. Like you can't get a credit card and shit. Like it's going to be hard to get a home loan, and like you're going to be dodging shit for about 7 years. You ain't got to pay shit back, but you can't claim bankruptcy and keep 2 $500,000 cars and shit. Like they're going to come repo all of his shit, I'm sure. So
if they're in his name,
it's in his name. He's I guess whoever's advising them is smart enough to play the Donald Trump economics game. This is a Donald Trump move. This is, the business is failing, bankrupt that motherfucker. This is a Gordon Gekko move, bro. Like, and I kind of respect it a little bit because this is what people do who get in financial strain. They claim bankruptcy and the other person gets fucked and you don't get anything. Corporations do this constantly to plaintiffs. So now, it's unfortunate because from what I understand, Shilo fucked this guy up pretty bad and he can't work. And even if we think it's all bullshit and people are money hungry, he did beat the shit out of this guy and he is messed up and he did get a $12 million verdict against him. So something happened. So to assume just because you're a Colorado fan that he's not guilty of something is ridiculous. There's a $12 million settlement against him. They don't just give $12 million away. You got to go through a series of events here. And this happened in 2015?
2015.
So almost 10 years later, it finally gets out.
I think it fights with the trial said 2022, and Shilo apparently missed his court date or whatever because
he missed his court date.
That's what I'm reading right now. I think.
No wonder you lost the suit, then you idiot. I mean,
but allegedly they sent it to his old address or some shit.
Dude, I don't want to fucking hear that. I'm sorry. Time out.
No, I'm not. I'm just reading.
I know you're not. I know
I'm
you're
just
not.
reading. I'm just reading.
You're not his defense attorney. Calm down.
I'm just reading.
I'm not going to go for that shit though. If you're going to play the dog ate my homework, I didn't get it in the mail game. Okay,
right.
What? Okay, so look.
And there's no alleged no more. Allegedly's out.
Yeah, there's no alleged. This all happened. This has all happened. All right, look. I love CU, bro. I loved them way hard before all this shit happened with Prime. And you guys, at least you know this, Coach. and your viewers that have been watching for years know. Okay, anybody that knows me knows. But this shit is, we better fucking win, bro, because this is not cool. I'm tired of this shit. I have gotten to the point, and I'm going to say this again and Bailey, you better get this on fucking camera. And if you cut this and don't put it on, I'm going to whip that ass.
Bailey, you're good. I got you.
To all the Colorado fans and Coach Prime fans for having an opinion that makes you angry and sad, and you're going to cry and type and get so. I'm so sorry that you're mad, but this shit has got to stop, bro. And it's played out, and it's something new every day, and it's not football related. And I don't give a fuck who you say you are. Distractions mount. And these are not professional athletes. The rest of them, Shador and Shilo and Travis, they're professional prospects, but they're not there yet. And if they're the tip of the spear, and the spear is always talking about something other than football, with the exception of Travis Hunter, you never hear about Travis Hunter doing anything but football-related activity. It's like, I wish Shador and Shilo and some of these other cats could just follow Travis around and just act more like Travis Hunter. Then we wouldn't have any of these problems. But look, this happened 10 years ago, so I can't really say it has anything to do with CU.
Yeah.
But it is coming out on their watch, so they have to eat it. That's the way this works. And I'm just, please God, win football games. Like 8 or 9 wins and all this goes away. They go 5-7. Oh, I can't believe I'm going to say this shit. They go 5-7, and you might have to look for a new coach. Take away his name. Go 4-8 and 5-7, and lose your best players. And you can't refill the coffers with a 5-star quarterback. If they don't get the kid from SC that they got all their money on, they didn't get the Underwood kid. I'm just saying it the way it is, guys. I mean, what the fuck? If everybody wants to get mad at me, get mad. I don't give a fuck. Get mad. Come see me. 10-0470 South Progress Way, Parker, Colorado. That's in the lab right here. The door's open, homie.
Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Some crazy motherfuckers out here. There's a bear out here that's fucking a smart ass bear. We're talking about earlier. It's breaking into motherfuckers' houses and shit. So I'm saying that right now. There it is.
No, me and him will get along fine. I got peanut butter and treats.
He's eating Oreos. You got Oreos. He's eating Oreos and shit.
Hey, Matt, I will send that fucking bear and wear him as a rug.
Let's continue this because it's in depth, and you come out and dropped your nuts on national television. Here's the thing I got to say. Yesterday, I talked about this. I'm a dad. You're a dad. We got kids, and they're responsible for their actions. You and I are accountable for their asses.
Facts.
And if my kid, regardless of the age, did something, and he was 15, and all kids deserve a pass, we fuck up or do stupid shit. But there's malicious intent as well. And it
doesn't work like that. There's just because you're a kid, when you're conscious, when you're 7, 8, 9 years old, and you know the difference between that stove is hot and not, you know not to touch it. When you're 10, 11, 12 years old, and I know because I work with kids all day. And they test you, try and get away with shit. And if you stay on them and they understand there's no fucking leeway for bullshit, they always go down the right road and do things correctly. And then when they're 15, 16, 17, 18, they're fucking adults from a decision-making standpoint. You're maybe not mentally all, the way developed, and you're still a kid. But you know what? If you go out and shoot somebody at 16 years old, you know that guns kill people.
I agree. I agree. Smitty and I had this conversation. My point is, I believe that if it's not, let's say, some, malicious shooting attack or some stab, I believe you do deserve a second chance in life if you don't do something that is, we fuck up. We have fuck ups. We do fuck ups. But here's the issue though. If my kid's 15, I have to be accountable as the father. And I have to address this lawsuit as the father. And I have to take accountability for my dumbass son who did a stupid ass thing. And I have to take responsibility.
So how old was Shilo in 2015?
He was 15, and then the lawsuit was done right away, by the way. So just to give you context, the guy sued right away. This isn't just a new lawsuit, a money grab because of Deion. The lawsuit was actually done back then.
Oh, yeah. This guy got Shilo whipped this dude's ass. Like, time out. But if an adult, if you let a 15-year-old, I don't care which 15-year-old on earth beat your ass, you probably deserve it. But keep going.
Yeah. So what I've heard a lot of different things.
By a 15-year-old DB. Who the fuck are you, bro?
Yeah, well, I've heard a lot of different things. I heard that he got elbowed the second time after trying to take his phone. He slipped on the hallway floor, fell, and broke his neck.
He slipped. I slipped and fell. Yeah, every time I get jumped on the field, it's because the footing was bad.
That's what I read. I read what JB just said. Like, it was like he didn't even beat his ass. I don't know. It's so much fucking rumors. I read that he just literally elbowed him, like JB said, and fucking fell and broke some shit.
So this guy's like the dude. Oh, I slipped.
I think the guy, by the way, I want to say the guy. And by the way, the guy. From what I know, my buddy that's in Dallas and in the youth football world and the recruiting world in high school there, he said this same guy had a youth football program and did funneled a lot of kids to certain schools, like high schools. You know how it is, the youth football guys, the street agent. Mm-hmm. And there's rumors out there that Deion didn't like the guy from the gate because Deion was trying to get kids from another guy that was sending them to this charter school. There's a lot of drama out there. Who knows the truth? But the bottom line is, as the father, my whole point back to circle one, you got to take accountability for this. And I don't know how it would sit on me as a father if I'm allowing my son years later that has the opportunity, who has been making a lot of money, who's been having a pretty damn good life, to just shit on this dude, knowing that this guy is crippled in some way. And I just don't know how I live like that as a father. I'm just going to straight out be honest. Whether it's your blood or not, I get it's our blood. But at some point, right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't give a fuck who did it.
What you're saying is, and I'm pretty sure I agree with you, and I almost guarantee Smitty will agree with this. Deion should have taken the reins of this and solved all these problems 10 years ago for his kid at 15 years old. Yeah, that's
fucking right.
Again, knowing that, because look, people put, and even I did it, when you see this, you immediately think like, oh my God, Shilo just whipped someone's ass and they sued him for $12 million. But that's not what happened. 10 years ago, something happened. We don't know. Yeah, we're making jokes about it. Matt's out of line. I'm always out of fucking lines. This is the first time you've seen the show, dummy. It happened 10 years ago. Okay. Whatever happened. Obviously, there's a judgment against. But for Coach Prime not to spearhead this and end it and to have it linger for 9 years, that is almost more concerning than the lawsuit, because he will claim bankruptcy. He will not pay this guy. This guy won't see shit. And that's just the way business works, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on which side of the fence you're on. You can't. The only thing I'm pretty sure you can't leverage against in bankruptcy is taxes and child support. So that means that everything else, you default on a loan, you don't want to pay it back, bankruptcy. That's why you put your business and your personal in separate names.
Yeah,
and separate entities. So if shit went down and something bad happened and I had to bankrupt the business personally, I wouldn't be, up shit's creek digging a hole in the desert to take a dump. So,
and here's my thing though, should he have settled it then? Yes. Should he settle it now? Yes. You still can do it now. You can still check it now. By the way, you're between the three of you, your two sons, from what I saw, bought your ass a $6 million crib, homie. There's something you can do. Look,
Shador's about to be a first rounder if he plays the way he should. Shilo, I'd say if Shilo plays like he did last year, which, let's be real, on defense, him and Woods and Bentley were probably your best three. That ain't saying much. They were pretty terrible, but they were still pretty good. The Cooper kid was good, but he left. If Shilo plays like he did last year and he has another good year, he'll go third or fourth, something like that. He'll be a special teams guy for somebody for a year or two. He's a Sanders. He's getting in. So there's ways to make this guy whole. But if you're going to claim bankruptcy and spite yourself to fuck someone else, because that's what bankruptcy is, that's some deep-rooted hate right there. You have to You have to really, really, really be committed to fucking the other person over if you're going to fuck yourself in bankruptcy, in my personal opinion as a business person.
Hey, Latrell, dog, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I hope you don't coach football, Latrell, if you're really teaching this type of shit, homie. So this man doing his job. So wait, this man doing his job, Latrell, is not supposed to do his job now, and is supposed to be able to get hit and get crippled on the job, is what you're fucking telling your kids, homie? Is that really what you're doing here, Latrell? Like, are you shitting me, homie? This kid played for me, Matt, and now he's coaching, and I'm dumbfounded by some of his.
Well, let me ask you this question, guys. And I'm not trying to hate on my university.
Yeah.
I'm not. I hate that I have to say this about the school every time, but I have to because we've got so many mental cripples that are now fans of the university. If his name was Shilo Jackson, would he even be on the team still?
No. He would have got kicked out of that school too, expelled.
He would be on the. I guarantee you, they would tell him to go to the transfer portal or suspend him or something.
I'm talking about back then, though.
Well, yeah, 100. Look, back then he probably never would have gotten into South Carolina.
Well, what I'm saying is, in high school, like Latrell, come on, you know, homie,
he would have got suspended in high school for sure. Did he not get expelled or suspended either?
You couldn't shoot in high school. It was gambling. You get expelled. You couldn't shoot dice.
What? Speaking of gambling, did you see the snitch at Colorado that put up the video of everyone playing dice?
No.
You guys didn't see that?
No.
Bailey, you got to find this video. The CU fucking news continues. Yesterday, I'm riding in the car with my son, and he pulls up this video of, I guess, some ex-player at CU. It's always the ex guys that can't do it.
Right.
Like recording all the kids in like the common area shooting pool or whatever, but they're playing dice, right? They're throwing and they're playing dominoes and shit, and they're gambling. Something we did.
Everybody shoot dice. Everybody
dice and dominoes and cards all the time, even if it's playing for quarters and dollars back in the day. Because we were
ball game flipping coins.
Still playing. Exactly. I got my Simon check, bitch. $100 on the table.
Here's a tail.
But like my thing is, there are so many snitches in Boulder right now trying to get people in trouble. This is another leak trying to get someone in trouble. They know because we're talking. Everyone's going to talk about it because it's massive news because it's Coach Prime and Shador and CU. So look, dog, just be careful in Boulder because there's snitches everywhere. And I'm telling you, ain't nothing worse than a snitch. Nothing fucking worse on earth than a goddamn snitch. And I'm telling you, when he walks in and he goes, "How do I look, Dad?" And he goes, "Like a goddamn snitch." Get away from that guy.
Right.
Here's the thing about
snitch is in Boulder. Watch out.
It's not even a snitch. It's the guy that smiles in your face and stabs you in the back. That's what they have all over the place. I guarantee you. They don't. All the guys that smile in Deion's face and those kids' face and says, "We want you to win," are also stabbing you in the back. Can't wait for you to lose. Don't get it twisted. Those guys, jealous one's envy is a real thing. Jealous one's envy is a real thing. And these guys are jealous. The guys that either didn't make it, and this goes for coaches too, grown men in the room now, don't get it twisted, especially there's certain ones that got fired or left or quit or whatever you want to say. There's a lot of grown men out there too that would want nothing to see this fail. They want nothing more than to see this fail. So there's a lot of pressure over there, bro. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's a ton of pressure, but for everybody that wants to see it fail, like all the morons in the comments that are coming after me for whatever I just said wrong. If it works, does everybody get to line up and like just start kissing ass and eating crow? Because if it works, and say they win 10 games this year and play for a Big 12 title, and Shador goes number 1 and Hunter goes number 3, and like
let me ask you this:
Shilo goes second round, and then 2 or 3 other guys get drafted, and all of a sudden the recruiting class is like they're bringing in transfers from the fucking wazoo and 5-star recruits, and all of a sudden CU is what it used to be.
Let me ask you. Pause right there. Let me ask you this though. Pause in the middle of that. Have you ever in your life, in my 48 years on this earth, whether it's
none of the CU players are getting drafted, are these people fucking high?
Whether now we have it amplified by social media and cell phones and et cetera, or not. In my 48 years, I have, because we've always had bullet board material, Matt. We've always used it. We've always had it. Our days were paper clippings, right? Or fucking whatever. Printed them off the internet. Whatever it was in our days. Have you ever seen a newspaper? That's what I'm saying. Newspaper clippings. Have you ever seen though this much of a show actually equate to winning lots and being successful?
Florida Gators,
USC, Texas with Vince Young. Like, the media spotlight on them all the time. Everything's scrutinized. Taking away Reggie's shit. He's got a house, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but that wasn't happening during the season. I'm talking about during the season, not after effect. I'm talking about before the season, and then they won. I've never seen it.
I mean, I've seen a lot of – I've been on teams that have been ravaged by arrests and, guys getting in trouble. But there's no – the media doesn't, fucking gravitate towards it like it does this for some reason.
Social media, y'all.
Obviously, Miami and the U, they've been going through since they wrote the book on this shit.
Yes.
So they've had to deal with it before. Oklahoma, if you're a big-time program, you probably had to deal with some pretty hardcore negativity in how you recruit, how you develop, yada, yada, yada. This is different because it was brought on by the head coach. He wanted it. He wants this fucking fire. He wants this smoke. He wants the eyes and all the screens and all the faces pointed at him. The problem is if you underachieve and every time something bad happens, you also have to deal with it with the same kind of clip here. So I'd love for Coach Prime to come out and address this, honestly. I mean, if he's going to address some guy on the internet that calls his kid out, maybe he should come out and address his son being sued for $12 million and what's going on and how it affects everything, the visual, if he comes out and just tells everybody what's going on, it's over.
I'm glad you said that because that's all I want to know. I just want you got to be a fair cuss in this thing. If you're going to cuss out Johnny, you better cuss out Freddie. And that's what a coach's supposed to do. If you're going to love on Johnny, you better love on Freddie. This is what coaches are supposed to do. And you have to take the good with the bad and the bad with the evil. And you got to make sure you address it face on as the leader of men because you're creating men here. You're creating the man and what to do when you get married and have a kid of your own and not to fucking run and hide from bankruptcies or lawsuits and face the adversity head on. I just don't understand why I don't see anything coming out and saying, you know what, I'm actually disappointed in my son that he did this. I'm actually not fucking happy about my son tweeting out this. He's the quarterback of the institution. He's my son as well. I just don't see any of that side. All I see is defense of the kids. And I get it. It's your dad, your son. It's your blood. I get all that, homie. But at the same time, it's right is right and wrong is wrong regardless of who does it. And I just don't get that part of it as the head coach. I would like to see more of that from Deion. That's all I'm saying.
Only thing is, to my last thing, too, to that point is that, again, this did happen 10 years ago. So from Deion's perspective, I don't know what he's already told Shilo or what he said about the situation. At some point, it's damn, I got to keep on touching on the same case that happened 10 years ago. I would have hoped that as a father, he's checked Shilo and did something about it. I don't know if he did in the household, but I would hope he did that. But
we haven't seen it. I'm saying, show us right now. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Show us, homie. You ain't. Have you
show
seen
us what though? Show us that you
disciplined him publicly.
No. Show us that you disciplined him 10 years ago.
All
I'm saying is
why are you missing the point? Why are you missing the point?
You want Deion to still
no,
right
homie,
now?
Why do you always defend this motherfucker?
He might need to, Smitty.
I'm asking you a question.
He might need to.
Smitty will defend this motherfucker.
You spoke to him again today from shit happened 10 years ago.
Well,
homie, address the problem right now. Come out and say, hey, guess what? There's literally a video and there's a legality out there on my son. He's bankruptcy. He's filing bankruptcy for $11.8 million to stay away from a lawsuit. Why haven't you seen Deion address the media about that, homie? How are you defending this dude all the time? Why don't you call this motherfucker out when he's wrong? Yep. I don't get it. What? We defend this motherfucker at all costs on this show. It blows my mind, but I'm the hater.
Look, I agree with Coach. It needs to happen. He needs to come out, just like I said, then come out and address this publicly in a news conference with the media there, scheduled correctly done. It'd probably be smart to have Shilo there too. If you got nothing to hide, then don't hide. And then I'm not advocating that Shilo gets suspended or anything, but I am saying that regardless of when this happened, this is the first time it's hit the news wire. So in media, as both of you know, the only thing that matters is the day of. The next day is the future, and tomorrow's the past. And I don't care if it's yesterday or 100 years ago. It's all looked at the same in the media world. The past is the past. Can't do nothing about it. We can't go back to it. So we need to move forward. The next story is the most important story. So the fact that they haven't talked about this publicly, they haven't addressed it, there's no news conference, and they're allowing everyone to speculate and just make up their own narrative. Every show across the country is talking about this shit, including us. If you allow people to make up their own narrative, then the narratives run. And unfortunately, when you say run your mouth, that is exactly what the narrative is. So people are running their mouth. We're all right. You're right. He's right. I'm right. No one's wrong. Everyone's got an opinion on it.
Here's where I want. There's
got to be some kind of recoil here, though, right?
This is all I'm saying. I've seen multiple tweets, and so has each one of us, on Deion defending his kids and attacking others that come after his kids. Have we not seen that?
Oh, it's constant.
I have yet to see Deion take the other side as the grown-up and the head coach and the dad and say, my son is wrong, and this is my quarterback, and this is my other son, and this was a wrong situation, and now we are dealing with it. Whatever you may want to say, I don't care. You got PR people. I've yet to see that side, not one time. So we only see one side, and then everyone calls me a hater or we defend them on the other side. Like, nah, I just keep it real. If he does a good thing, I'm saying. If he does Smitty thinks I have a negative connotation, maybe I do. At the same time, on the other side, I like to keep it real. I just like to keep it real about the thing.
I'm not even saying y'all wrong. I'm not even saying y'all wrong. I'm just asking, what would that do, though? Okay, let's say Deion comes out today and say, you know what? My son was wrong. All right. Okay.
It stops it. It stops everything. There's no more speculation. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. Put Shilo up there, too, and have him answer questions and just be honest.
And they're also trying to I don't know.
I just want to know.
Go up there together with Curtis Snyder, the fucking PR director up there.
There's money involved and shit. It just it's hairy.
Yeah, it's ugly. But you know what's uglier? Allowing the narrative to run without setting it. And I know he may not care about the narrative, but everyone else does.
Smitty, I know you too well, Smitty. You ain't gonna run from this. You ain't gonna run from this, Smitty. If this happened to you, you'd be facing it directly in the face.
If I'm not wrong, but I think there's a good point. Let's be real. Shilo probably is wrong, is what I'm saying. Right. And and what I'm saying is there's like fucking $12 million and shit at stake. So like his legal counsel probably telling them motherfuckers, hey, y'all need to shut up. Let me handle this shit. Do X, Y, and Z.
I mean, that's great, but they're in the court of public opinion now. They're not just in court, so they've got to figure this out. And look, man,
you lost.
I also wonder how big is this news though? I'm not being funny, but I know at Fox nobody's talking about it. So is ESPN on there? Are they blowing this shit up? Like I feel like we're talking about it, or it's big on social media, but in reality, I don't think this thing is that as big as what it feels like.
It's been all over in Denver and all over the radio here. Everybody's talking about it.
You know damn well. You think Stephen A is going to throw Deion under the bus?
I'm just saying. I hear you.
On, man.
I'm saying none of those shows.
I will say this.
Nobody's talking about it on the big network.
Even if this happened 10 years ago and it came out, let's just hypothetically.
Yeah.
You work at Fox, right, Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You busted your ass to get that opportunity, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's say 10 years ago. How old are you right now? 24? 27? How old is he?
I'm 30.
You're 30? All right, so let's say 15 years ago. So 10 years ago at 20 years old, when you were a redshirt sophomore or whatever, sophomore at Ball State, right?
I ain't redshirt yet.
Oh, whatever, dog. And you say you fucked up, and it didn't really hit national media.
Mm-hmm. But
there was a court case that went on for 9 years, and then it hit while you're working at Fox, and you didn't tell them. Or like it wasn't, no one talked about it. Like no one knew about it. Because I guarantee you Rick George didn't know about this shit. This wasn't a topic of conversation when they hired Deion. Because they didn't hire Shilo. They hired Deion. He brought Shilo.
Right.
So they would walk in and be like, look, man, probably regardless of who you are, with the exception of a couple people, you're probably going to be put on leave and we're going to figure this out because this is a bad look for the company.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else other than Shilo or Shador or Travis, would they be getting, or Horn, who Deion's like a dad to, is anybody else getting this kind of leash? That's all I'm saying. And I, as a guy who, look, I got arrested multiple times in college and kicked out of school and got in tons of trouble, and Coach Barnett let me come back. And I did everything I had to do in order to get my scholarship back and all that shit. I'm not advocating for the kid not to have a second chance. I'm all about third and fourth chances. I want to reform kids. I don't want to recruit them. I want to find the nastiest, surliest prick out here that we literally have to turn into a gentleman, but he can be a killer on the field. That's what I'm looking for. So we're going to have some problems. There's going to be guys getting in trouble and shit. It's just the way it works.
Right.
You're also injecting a bunch of football players into this fucked up bubble up in Boulder, which, woo, it is sure is fun to walk around that town. You want to talk about a little bit of difference in every corner. So I'm just saying, man, in Boulder County, they look at shit like this and they look at it as like a black eye on the school. And they don't give a fuck who's to blame. The whole Katie Nida situation when I was there, I never met the chick once, the female kicker that like got everybody in trouble and everything. It was just in the media and blew up, something that happened 5 years before. But when it came out and became light on it, people were getting suspended and fired and transferring, and we're not going to win a game, and everybody there is a rapist, and nobody got invited to the combine, and it was just bad. So the court of public opinion is a real fucking thing, guys. And in Boulder, Colorado, it is amplified by about 1,000. So I think that it would be very smart to get in front of this if they could. But then again, you know what? If the national media is kind of giving Deion a pass on this one, then you might want to take your mulligan.
Hey, so by the way, this nobody about the kicks. Why do they not talk about Bama, LSU, Georgia, Clemson? Well, show me what to talk about them. Give me the videos and give me all the media that they have out there right now.
If this happened at Clemson, they'd be talking about it.
And send it to us, and then we'll talk about it. And guess what? You know why else? Because it's my show, motherfucker. So get the fuck out, bitch boy. I don't give a fuck what you like. This is what I want to talk about. So anyway, I gotta. This is my whole thing.
Welcome to the Coach JB show with Big Smitty. Motherfucker, leave.
Here's the issue I have. I have no issue.
Don't watch the show. We don't want none of you motherfuckers here.
Listen, I don't have any issue. Like, I want to be clear here. Like, this is done deal. He lost the lawsuit. He lost.
Yeah, it's over.
Right. Well, it's over.
It's either
the bill. But what I see from the chat and everyone that the prime sexuals, they, regardless, he cannot do wrong. And that is why all I want to bring in is both sides of this thing and say, look, dog, this is the truth of the matter. This is the facts. And this is your opinion. And if your opinion is to defend him, so be it. But don't be mad at my opinion when I call it the truth. Like, that's just what I don't understand. This is facts. He lost a lawsuit. He hurt a guy at 15 years old. The guy sued that same year. He has won the lawsuit, and it is out there. And the kid is on record of having a lot of assets in his name, and he has vehicles that are very expensive, and he's made money, and now he's filed bankruptcy. Those are facts. So I just want to be clear why you can't speak about the facts anymore, because mainstream media is not pushing it. Well, guess why? Because Deion is on ESPN all the time. He's on McAfee and Stephen A., and they're on his sideline. They're doing College Game Day. He's an attraction. Do you think they're going to cut off the moneymaker? No, they're not going to push this on ESPN and social and major platforms. But the little guys like myself will. So that is why we discuss it, because it's in the news more than anybody. Period. There's 5,000 shows on YouTube about Deion Sanders, by the way. So it's not just us and Matt. Okay? Matt is there in Colorado, just to give you fucking nobody some clarity. Matt is there. He's an alum from the fucking school the last time they had a great season. And he's there working with their players. So why would you think we're not talking about Colorado?
JB, you ain't got to explain this